I want to talk about mystery and the unknown. But before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about atheism, specifically my atheism. Because if I don't preface this conversation about mystery with an understanding of my atheism, it'll sound like I'm not an atheist, and I am. I've been an atheist for years. In fact, I don't remember ever not being an atheist. Probably because my mum lost her faith when she was, when my mum and dad split up, really, I guess. My mum's dad was a preacher, a lay preacher, and she was very religious. This is before I was born, actually. And but when a series of terrible things happened in my old mum's life, like her marriage breaking down, my brother died of polio quite young, my other brother nearly died, a whole bunch of really, really shitty things happened in her life, and she lost her faith as a result of that. And so I was brought up with a very kind of pragmatic understanding of Christianity and faith generally. It was a useful place to, Sunday school, for example, was a useful place to send your kids to, because it provided free childcare for a couple of hours on Sunday morning. Churches are quite nice places to sit in if you want to be quiet. You know, that's the kind of pragmatic relationship I have to it. So I've never had any kind of faith in, and certainly not dogmatic faith in any of that stuff, really. So I've always been an atheist, but my atheism has become more complex, I think, as I've grown older. I've read more about it. I've experienced different kinds of things, but I have a very, very, very secure relationship to atheism. You know, I don't feel my relationship with atheism is under threat. I don't think it could be placed under threat. I can't imagine what kind of thing could happen to change that, really. In fact, one of those questions that Veritas 48 asked, about 5 questions for atheists, was about that very question, and I kind of said, no, there isn't really anything really that could happen to change that I can imagine changing my atheism. In fact, my atheism is so secure, my atheism, that I feel perfectly happy flirting with all kinds of other ideas, without thinking that my atheism is put under threat as a result. You know, I can snuggle up to Karen Armstrong for a couple of hours during the day, or I can canoodle, you know, with another theologian mid-afternoon. But at the end of the day, I get into bed with atheism. That's where I rest my head every single night. In fact, I regard my ability to canoodle and flirt with various theological ideas as a mark of the security of my atheism. If I wasn't so secure in being an atheist, then I would feel threatened by reading these other things. I would feel my ideas being jeopardized in a way which I wouldn't really like. So, yeah, I mean, just that's all I want to say, really. I'm an atheist through and through, and a demonstration of how much of an atheist I am, I think, is my perfect confidence in stepping outside of the atheist box for a couple of hours in an afternoon. If that makes any sense at all. Not sure I've left enough time on here to talk about mystery. I think I'll make a separate video about mystery instead. You know, that's all I want to say about atheism. I'll make a separate video. But if you watch the mystery video and you think, oh, this guy is turning into a Christian, or this guy is turning into a religious believer, I'll just ask you to cast your mind back to this video if you've watched this one first.